bring him back to at least a little bit of a better point. It's going to be up to him to find the way to last hit while also dodging the blade. There's only so much respect you can give, Chris.
Yeah, and we do see a gold card land now on Zaya, forced to flash away, but she will get caught by a Talia launch. Now Rel, with no mobility, forced to flash and will go down anyway. That's a double kill for VCU's bot lane, and that's the early lead we were talking about.
Yeah, look at, I bet Talia wave clear was fast.
Yes, it was.
Vi is still on the Krugs. There's still a red buff up on the side of SU, as well as the Raptors, the Birds. Talia hit level 3, and it looks like it was a 3-kill, which is crazy as well, because that's so much value. She literally just said, all right, 1, 2, 3, bot lane, and suddenly we have a lead. TF has a recurve bow, Chris.
Yeah, and this could be dangerous now as Alistar has a Hex Flash and is looking mid. Orianna in a tough situation will get engaged by Tristana, forced to flash away, but she could go down to that bomb. The tower shot won't be enough, and neither will the bomb. No kills either direction, but Orianna will be forced out of lane, and that's effectively a kill unless Orianna opts to TP back to lane to catch that wave. But now we do see potentially Vi looking for maybe a little bit of damage on Tristana. Here it comes as we see the TP mid. Tristana will just jump out. She's totally fine. And Alistar will back and go back to lane like nothing ever happened.
Right. At this point, we're already starting to see where the gold is falling. TF up about 500 gold on the Zaya. It's not a lot right now. Zaya has the CS lead, but the other big thing about Twisted Fate is his passive. He makes more money just by last hitting the minions. It's a random value from 1 to 6. So suddenly, we're going to see TF really start to just make more and more money by playing the game, as well as if they continue to play through him. But a little bit of the opposite of what we were talking about. There's a Talia on the top side. She was definitely looking at that Maokai.
Yeah, and unable to find anything, but you make a good point about that recurve, though, because I believe that can only, of Twisted Fate's realistic options, that will mean this Twisted Fate is building a Kraken Slayer, which makes a lot more sense with his press the attack option as well, because now he's looking for, ideally later in the game, to be finding a gold card, autoing 2 more times, and really chunking out your health. As now we have a trade down bot lane, and here comes the early Zaya damage. And a quick recall will find a root, but not enough damage. Now Zaya taking a lot of damage of her own, but Alistar's pretty deep here. They could find, depending on Zaya's recall cooldown, that won't be enough, and Rel could be the one to go down as she will get headbutt back into the Twisted Fate. Long extended trades will favor the TF in that situation, as Zaya did not quite hold her recall, feather recall, as long as she probably could have, and lost a lot of damage on those feathers.
We're looking at the Grubs, Chris. This is the Grub Hub moment.
Yes.
This objective has had so much influence over the game recently, and it's all because of the tower damage it offers. When you take any amount of the Void Grubs, you will start dealing true damage to the tower. But if you're able to get 6, you also spawn smaller versions of those grubs, which add even more damage to the tower, and you can take them very early.
Yeah, and it looked like Talia got that, as now Darius looks for an engage and does get his dunk off. He will find 2, and just like that, now with full stacks and a lot of extra AD, he will likely find a 3rd, as his dunk did go on cooldown. I forgot about that. But we have trading on the other side. The Grubs will go to VCU, but we're not done. Rel will go down. Zaya looking for just that little bit of extra damage, but won't find it. Now a level advantage for Twisted Fate is a lot of damage. There's another blue card. Probably won't be enough to kill her, but it could be, as he ghosts and just runs her down. And I mean, I feel like I blinked and all of a sudden VCU's up 7 kills and 5,000 gold.
Yeah, and suddenly the gold difference is mounting again. I worried earlier on about getting this lead and keeping up in the team fight. Again, I think we will see SU have these amazing fights later on, but the damage may not be enough. it's great that you're able to get this team play going. I think that they have the synergy over there. But when it comes to damage, you only get more damage by two ways. You either get it through the level or you get it through the item. And the item is the way to go, especially in a competitive setting.
Yeah, now we see that as we watch that bot lane trade, the VCU was actually unable to finish the grubs, but will now finish the job. And Talia should be pretty close to level 6 here, which will be interesting just for extra pressure now as Maokai will find himself stumbling onto a pretty bad situation. Now Darius is able to move and he's pretty caught. Now Tristana jumping over the wall, finding a bomb. Maokai will go invincible, but it won't be enough as he will just die a very slow death with his flash being burned in the last fight. And he gets caught way out of position. And now Shenandoah looking to respond with a dragon as they saw Talia on the top side of the map. Now Twisted Fate sends his ultimate out, but likely will not teleport here as he will use it just for information. He does end up TPing just an inch away, and now a great angle from VCU's bot lane to try and punish the Xayah walking back to lane. They found a gold card and an ignite, and that will do it. The Kraken Slayer damage that we mentioned earlier now finding its value.
Yes, PF, Kraken Slayer, PTA is putting up so much damage, and I feel like the scaling is what we were expecting to see, but look at this TF just going one card after another, and is putting up so much damage, Chris.
Yeah, now it's just fights non-stop as Maokai looks for something under Tristana, but won't be able to finish the job as he gets cut off by a great, fantastically placed Talia ultimate, just to separate Tristana and Maokai. Now, a Hex Flash and another engage coming from VCU's bot lane. Twisted Fate is tanking and will go down. What? That is a 1,000 gold shutdown for Xayah. Now, all of a sudden, 2k gold down bot lane still, and 8 kills in the pocket of Twisted Fate. But 1,000 gold is nothing to scoff at.
That scares me. I've been in that situation, and you always want your support, especially if it's an Alistar, to be tanking, but you also want to get your auto attacks off. Sometimes they fly a little faster than you thought, and suddenly you're the one tanking instead. 1,000 gold shutdown is going to be a good amount to potentially bring SU back into the game, but that is still a full item down in the side of the bot lane, as well as Vi is in another very awkward spot as Darius burns the ghost and is just kind of getting, oh my goodness, man. That was a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a Noon Quiver with a completed Berserker Greaves. Now Xayah again in trouble and will go down. The ghost back up, and this Twisted Fate can just click on people.
That's the joys of League of Legends, isn't it? You can use abilities, but why use abilities when you can right-click them?
Right? And that's the nature of this Twisted Fate champion now. I mean, like, that's kind of what he did already. It was just, you know, pull a gold card out and his one auto would do a lot of damage. But now with the changes they've made, every single one of his auto attacks does a lot of damage. So that's certainly adding up, and Shenandoah is really feeling it now as we have 9 deaths down bot lane, and all 9 of them in Twisted Fate's pocket with a completed Kraken Slayer, Berserker Greaves, and a Kerchi Shard, and likely more to come as he looks to reset.
And this is where it gets so awkward for the side of SU. When you are down this much CS, not only in your lanes, but also in the jungle, you can ask for help, but you're dealing with characters who put up so much damage, so much value whenever they fight, and are great 2v1 fighters.
Whoa, yeah, he lives it. Meanwhile, Xayah got a shutdown on Twisted Fate on the other side of the map. That'll turn into a double kill as Rel clearly looking for an engage. Still has her ulta, but was not. VCU unable to find a kill on her, and that's a double kill into Xayah's pockets. And once again, I mean, this gold lead's coming back a little bit for Shenandoah, right? With a failed dive top lane and another failed dive bot lane, I guess. Now that's a swing for Shenandoah. It's step 1 in a very long process as VCU's still up 9,000 gold, but little things matter.
I want to talk items for a second, Chris. Looking on the right side, VCU has a completed item on every character, including the Alistar.
Yeah.
2 Kraken Slayers. I mean, the item has to be getting so much value, and Alistar going for a Frozen Heart to do the exact opposite. You can't build attack speed in this game, but VCU able to go. That's 5 grubs, but SU's trying to respond, but there's a cow and a teleport, Chris.
Yeah, and Alistair appears out of nowhere. TF will do the same with his ult, and we have a teleport behind Shenandoah Lions. Now, Rel will go down, and Vi will likely fall as well to Darius's hemorrhages, and now we have 5-man commitment from VCU to secure this 6th grub, and now all it has really costed is 1 dragon and a lot of money in favor of VCU. So they will likely look with all of this manpower top lane to try to knock out this Maokai. He does have his flash, so we'll see what happens, but a Darius, with red buff, a Twisted Fate that deals a lot of damage, will start the dive now. Darius is tanking, we have 4 people up here, and just like that, Maokai will go down. Now, that was a very long play, so we do see trades on the other side of the map as Zaya will get a plate mid, but ultimately advantage VCU.
How could you do that to the tree dressed as a cat?
That poor guy.
Yeah, that was just brutal. That was completely, that was too much, but a very good play from the side of VCU, as while they were topside, you mentioned it, as much value as you can get on the other side of the map. Welcome to the competitive league world, as a second dragon goes into Shenandoah's pocket, and while it doesn't give you the gold and won't make up for that gold difference, it will give you permanent stats, and that is so much value, Chris.
Yeah, and we'll see if Zai is able to finish this very low health Alistair, but with a lot of armor his way, he will not go down. Now Rel will die to the Darius, and Alistair will finally go down, but Tristana is ripping through this roster as getting reset after reset, jumping through the team. Darius will find another dunk, and that is a 3-for-1 trade in favor of VCU. And that's the damage we're talking about. Orianna able to find a TP out and save her own life, but still, 5-24 is the kill total for this game, and 33,000 gold to a mere 19.6 is very hard to come back from.
Yes. With that, look at what SU has done so far. These team fights, you expect a goal difference like this to be a one-and-done sort of fight where someone hits you once and you pop. But
and this could be the pop, as Vi is able to dodge the knockup, but does still dash straight into a stun. She will likely go down, and sure enough, yes, the hemorrhages will finish the job. Darius finds his 7th, and that's another 1,000 gold shutdown waiting to happen.
Oh no, there's another cow.
Here's another one. VCU just playing around their vision and finding these picks, right? Shenandoah trying to get any control back in this game, trying to find the vision and deny enemy vision, but VCU just standing, waiting for it every time. Very, very well played macro.
Oh, I feel so bad because SU has been playing these fights so well once they get a little bit of control, but especially when they're all playing together. But again, it's what we talked about earlier, the damage is just not enough, and when you're in this sort of deficit, the most you can really do is just start trading these objectives and trying to find something on the other side of the map. But it looks like SU is going to opt to try and answer this wave and potentially start bringing it back through shutdowns, but TF using his ult, going down bot lane for the macro play. Tristana hitting the tower.
Did you see that Herald?
No, I did not.
Talia is in a Herald on her way straight down. She will go straight into the wall and not get value out of that. But if they can protect it all the way up to the inhibitor, it will charge and potentially kill it. As they do have a wave, they will likely get it either way.
Oh, it doesn't
But
charge.
it doesn't charge on the inhibitor. So now the Herald will walk up and likely die before it gets engaged. Now, Rel does get a great engage onto 2. Zaya ult is out, and a massive recall will kill the TF. That's a lot of damage down for VCU, but not enough coming from Shenandoah. As Orianna will fall, Maokai looking to do anything he can as Vi comes late, looking to finish the job. Zaya fighting for her life under her tower, was not dealing any damage to this poor Alistair. And the quadra kill for Tristana. This could be a pentakill. I didn't even notice. And Rel is back alive. This could be 6 kills in a row for this Tristana. If they're able to finish off this Rel, who cannot walk backwards, she will find a kill onto Alistair and force VCU to back up and potentially just keep taking objectives. But at this rate, they have to recall soon. Tristana is out of mana and Darius is out of health. Shenandoah looking to punish, but it won't quite be enough as they opt for the waves and protect the base. But my God, that was bloody.
Yeah, I mean, that is the bloodbath that you fear when playing against a Tristana mid. So much damage coming out from that character. We talked about AD carries able to carry fights, and when you bring an AD carry mid lane who is so good at punishing Orianna and really keeping up the pressure, I think we just saw the fruits of the value of what all it offers.
Yeah, now Xayah unfortunately finding herself just up a little too far, but she will be able to walk out as nobody on VCU was in position to punish that except for the Alistar. But again, as we take what is likely one final look at the gold, 20,000 gold in favor of VCU would take anything short of a miracle to come back from, as Alistar does find a knock-up onto Xayah, a gold card onto Rel from VCU, now a Darius pull will shred all that armor, and goodbye Maokai. Now numbers advantage for VCU as Xayah gets caught on a great play from Alistar, and sure enough, the rest of Shenandoah will fall in the blink of an eye. The damage was there for VCU and not for Shenandoah, as now VCU looks to finish this base and potentially get one more kill, but that grub damage will melt through these towers. An 18-minute victory for VCU will mark the end of Game 1 in this series.
I mean, we talked about it. You play through your bot lane, you have so much pressure, and they picked these aggressive early game champions and were able to snowball that lead into ending the game before 20 minutes, Chris.
Yeah, not a single Baron taken, not even a single Baron spawn for either side of this game, as the game did not reach 20 minutes. And I mean, if you're Shenandoah, all you can do is shake that off. I mean, that game fell apart pretty early, and it again would have taken a lot to
I don't think he sees the guy right there. Does find the guy planting the bombs. Cultivates it into his second. 1v3 looking for the clutch, looking for the last two. He's gonna find one. Another one runs into the cross.
Absolutely a must-make because of the ease
of
them.
What? The rest of his team is slowly collapsing. The Sombra is the last player alive, and Boydex with the clutch.
Yella gonna get the Nair, starting out the Nair train. Boy cannot get out of it. What are we gonna see? Forward air, then down air.
Taking some form of space outside the spawn door, but Dragonblade's gonna look to take it right back with a huge shatter. Oh my god! Another pick! Another pick! Oh, he just keeps going, and the pick bang! Hard point in the hand of the other team. Toxic trying to find one, finds a second. Does he get the third?
Finishes off with the pistol!
The entire team in front of him, and he's gonna find more! The ace, actually!
Push all the corner, and Gingy staying deep instead of going defensive like usual.
Oh my god, Kickoff probably was a 4-piece.
Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome to another Shenandoah University broadcast. My name is Kevin Clayton and today I'm joined on the desk by Mr. Nolan aka Bolin aka Ether himself. Nolan, how you doing today?
I am doing great. Looking forward to some League of Legends. We've got our SU Red team versus American today.
Yeah, and this is the kind of matchup that I personally really enjoy because we've had a little bit of a good time with American in the past. Back at, I believe it was Game Mason last year, right?
Yeah, so we were at Game Mason. We had a great time with these guys, great guys. They do have some new faces on the team here, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so a couple of returning faces for the side of American, but I do want to also acknowledge that since the last go-around for SU's League of Legends team, they've had a little bit more practice. They've had a little bit more time to reflect on what happened last go around. If you were in the broadcast earlier, you saw a couple of those replays, and while there were glimmers of hope in this beautiful sort of team fight area, those games ended very fast, and they ended fast because a lot of money was lost. So the team sat down and realized, wait a second, we gotta keep better control of our money. And so there are plenty of ways to do that, but I'm sure as we get into it and see some of the players, it'll become better and better going forward.
Yeah, for sure. And I really think, as you guys were kind of saying last week on the desk, this SU Red team has come so far.
Yeah.
They've put in a lot of work to get where they are. They just have improved tremendously, especially this bot lane, which both Chris and I have kind of seen through lane through our in-houses that we do. They've definitely learned a lot, so I'm very excited to see how they'll do today.
Oh, absolutely. And as we look at some of the players, you can tell they're getting focused, they're getting ready. We had the chance to look a little bit into what the draft is going to look like. The big character of concern right now, which is a recurring theme not only for this team but for the team that Nolan and I compete on, is there's a Darius, and he plays a lot of Darius, and there's an argument of like bans and whether or not you should ban it. Is there an answer to the character? And Nolan's given me that look of, Kevin, you better not say that there's an answer, because we've hit him with everything, including the kitchen sink, and he still hits 5 stacks. The character's scary, man.
Yeah, and what we were talking about with our coach is that even though Divine Sunder had left the item shop with the update, Darius still has that level of power that is kind of unseen, unmatched,
right?
Which is
scary, man.
Yeah. No one would have thought it with Divine Sunder being his best item leaving, but he's found a way back in.
Yeah, Trinity Value is still your best friend. Sterix Gauge giving tenacity. I mean, oh my goodness, it's so much. But while we are looking at the players, while we are standing here, we have confirmation that they are drafting through Draft Lol. So it'll be just an extra minute or two before everyone at home can see what all is going to be drafted for the teams. But generally what that means is that you won't see the bans, but we can talk about the bans because we have a little bit of information on our side. SU Red has banned the Darius. Nolan, I am relieved. I am
as well. They also banned the Volibear here. I know especially top lane has been picking up steam. There's been some builds going around. There was some changes to Volibear that also went through with the last patch. So it's been seeing a lot more play. How do you feel about that Volibear?
I love the character so much, and I feel like when the new season hit, there was this moment of the character doesn't really have a home. He's lost a lot of his powerful kit, all of that stuff. But then, out of the blue, and by out of the blue, I mean out of Korea, there's a new build where Volibear is playing as a drain tank, which is like weird, but also works surprisingly well. There's footage of Volibears walking in 1v3 and living for at least like 3 minutes. They just keep healing off of the W and the unending despair, and oh my goodness, there's so much value, Nolan.
Yeah, because the build there for a while was the Rift Maker. You'd go Nashers. You'd go kind of this really AP-heavy Volibear where you're just split pushing, taking towers really fast. But now you're just this team fight tank monster, kind of equivalent to a Scion or Ornn, where you're just kind of standing there. And it's quite scary.
Right. Now, I do want to address on the side of American, we do see a couple other big name bans, namely Karma. The last time we saw SU Red, there was a Karma top lane, and it did really well. It did a very good job of keeping up pace with these aggressive laners, and we've seen a lot of Karma. Karma has such a demanding presence, and it's seen just about anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's been seen play top, mid, support, really a triple flex there in 3 of the 5 roles. Could even be played ADC. I have seen a little bit of play before she was nerfed a little bit, but so quite a scary flex there. Definitely a good ban just to make sure the draft is kind of more normal. You don't have all those flex picks you have to worry about, so mostly just making sure everything keeps normal.
Right, and that's the name of drafting, right? Is you go into it, and the more flex picks you have, the better off you are. Because the best way I can describe it for those of you at home who have not ever, may not have experienced the draft experience of competitive, it's a snake draft, which means that if you have a character that can fit multiple roles, and then somebody says, oh, clearly that's going to go in this one specific role, I'm going to counterpick it. Well, then suddenly they're like, we're going to throw it somewhere else. And it creates a whole mess of, like, metagaming each other and do you have enough counterpicks? I don't know. It's a mess.
It's like playing chess in 4D, time traveling dimensions, and it's a whole mess like you were describing. So
yeah, no, it is. I don't like it. I know we have a couple flex picks. Everybody does, but that doesn't mean that I enjoy the idea of picking so early. I like my last pick as a top laner. I enjoy that side of things. But as we get into the tournament draft, so we will actually be able to see the bans and such. So we've spoiled a little bit. That's okay. We see the Karma. We see the Darius. Again, two powerhouses of the game. Brand ban. I don't know who that's targeting, Nolan. That's a very big call-out ban right there.
And I think that one might not be targeting anyone specific and more so be, okay, our comp can't play into this. And it's just a strong pick right now. So I think they're just like, okay, maybe your match history doesn't show it. Maybe you play it. We're just going to play super safe and just ban it.
Fair enough, but we do see the top laners locking in Fiora versus Renekton. This is a skill matchup to the nines. What you have to do is Fiora has the riposte, Renekton has a stun readily available, but it's the kind of stun that you can't exactly react to. You have to call out your opponent, so it's a big back and forth sort of like, are you going to pull the trigger? Am I going to pull the trigger? Who's going to do it first?
And this is really interesting because the Renekton hasn't seen a whole ton of play lately, been kind of sitting on the lower side of the win rates. So we're definitely going to see how Animated can really pilot this Renekton versus this skill matchup versus Fiora.
Yeah, I feel like that character, I feel like we don't see Renekton as much anymore. And frankly, you could say the same of Fiora. I remember the new season hitting and everyone saying, Fiora is gone, Fiora doesn't have Divine Sunder, oh my God, what are we going to do? But here we are. We see American picking up the Fiora anyway, saying, if anybody's going to make this character work, it's going to be me. So very commanding start for this, but we see the bot lanes locked in. The Xayah Rakan, the beauty on the side of SU. But on the other side, Twisted Fate is in a game again, Nolan.
Yeah, this character has been disgusting for a few patches now. They added the crit modifier to some of his abilities, so this 80 Twisted Fate has picked up so much steam. It is so strong, just being able to gold card someone from a range with that RFC like usual, but as soon as you gold card them, whack, 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 whack. You're just hitting them with cards that are doing tons of damage. And also, one thing I want to touch on, this Galio.
Yeah. This looks familiar, Nolan.
Yeah. So Galio has a kind of storied history between SU and American here. When we played them last year, Galio was a 100% pick ban. Both teams fighting over this Galio, so it is definitely one of their comfort picks.
Just the run back. They picked Nocturne. I remember because back then we had, back in my day, we had Bear, Nikita coaching, and we had this go-to comp with Camille and Galio, and then we throw the jungler on like Nocturne or something. The AD carry was on Kai'Sa, and it would just be choose one person and dive bomb as many people as you can on top of them. And American seems to be taking a similar approach. They got Nocturne, they got Galio. They got Twisted Fate ulti. Like, the core is still there. It's not as dive bomby, but it's clear the strategy is the same.
Yep, and you have those 3 globals. You're going to have the Avengers coming in from out of nowhere across the map. So
oh, no, bro.
SU needs to be really careful about who they see on Vision, because it can suddenly be, oh, you see 2 people on Vision, oh, suddenly the whole team's there. Right. So they need to be really careful, do their due diligence on tracking those cooldowns, kind of getting vision, and really taking good fights.
Yeah, as much as I love a good ward in the center of the enemy jungle, I also respect just getting a little bit outside of the lane, because that's where they're global ultis, but they're not the entire map. They do need to walk a little bit towards wherever the fight is going to break out. So if anybody sees them start walking away from the lane, start walking into the river, I am hoping that SU's players are screaming at each other saying, please, please walk away. There's a big bird flying into the sky, golem statue thingy ready to blast the area beneath you guys. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. But SU, one thing they do have is they have the Zyracon and Lilia, things that are great at team fighting. So I think as long as they play patiently and get these global cooldowns out, they have a really good shot at these team fights. They just have to be patient.
Yeah, you have a lot of characters that either can dash away, can run away, can go invulnerable. The only character who really... Well, that's not necessarily true. I was going to say the only character who maybe can't is Renekton, but even then, Renekton has a dash. You just got to be on top of your opponent for the second. So I like what SU has gone for. I think that it'll, if played right, it can really make a splash for, like, baiting your opponent onto a play and then counter-engaging. Like, oh, you used your ultimates and then I didn't die. Like, let's everyone else have at 'em. Like,
yep.
So, should be good, but as we continue to wait for the game to start, I'm hoping to see where the junglers play a role in all of this. You got the Nocturne when we talk about the dive bomby type thing, but Nocturne is very level 6 type character. What are your thoughts on Lilia?
So Lilia kind of wants to do the same thing. She doesn't have a lot of presence pre-6, because she has just the swirling seed from her E as kind of a CC there. So both want to power farm to level 6. I don't see... Both shouldn't really have much interaction unless they see a good gank. You see bot lane that have the Zyracon, they could set up something there. Same with the Ahri Charm. But mid lane, the Galio, they could have on the side of American kind of a gank through there, pre-6, because the Ahri won't have her ulti. The Galio can just EW you, Nocturne can just walk in on the taunt, you blow a flash, you can come back pre-6. So definitely look for American to be, if they're going to gank pre-6, it's going to be mid, and on the side of SU, it's probably going to look towards bot or mid as well. So we'll kind of see how this shapes up pre-6, but it looks like we're going to get into game here shortly.
Yeah, and while looking at that, we're talking about the junglers hitting level 6. I'm also curious, because top lane, the two of them can scrap at any given point, right? You can try to go fisticuffs, and oh my goodness, American is walking into the red side of SU. We'll talk about the lane matchups in a bit, but they're getting a little bit of vision, and Exil is getting a little close. Oh,
gonna flash the gold card. Flash from TF should be fine here.
And we're chilling.
So this is quite dangerous, kind of what I was talking about. So once Galio hits level 3, he'll have access to both the E and W, which, oh, as we see a scrap here, should just be some damage on the Lilia. Shouldn't be anything more. The gold card just barely being out of range. The Lilia gonna flash just to be safe.
Nolan, I am coming to a very scary conclusion after the last match we saw with SU Red and today. Why are supports dealing so much damage? And more specifically, I see that Janna has Hail of Blades.
So this is a very interesting tech that some people will run on Janna. So the after the gold card lands, the Janna has the extra damage from both her W and if she puts her E on herself. So she can do a lot of quick damage since the W got reverted, if you remember, about, I don't know, a few patches ago it got reverted to old Janna. So you see she started the W as they get a good trade onto Idiot Maker here. Half health, the Ignite burn there. Galio taking a nice trade mid, gonna get the Ahri down to half.
Oh man, and the Crocodile is doing well in the top side of the map as well. Overall, it's looking good for the side of SU, and they're keeping up in their CS numbers so far. But the Janna's putting up so much damage, Nolan. I apologize, because that was quick as can be.
Whoa.
There's a double in the bot lane.
The Janna with the Hail of Blades, the W start, and I'm assuming an E second start, doing so much damage that they just weren't expecting.
Oh my goodness, I need to start respecting my support more. I apologize, Nolan. That is, like, I feel like every time I see a support, they're supposed to be dealing, a little bit of damage. They're there to help the carry. But we have seen these supports saying, enough of this, I'm going to do this myself. And so the damage is racking up already. The Janna immediately backs with a double kill and immediately gets Ionian boots. And that is going to put up so much pressure as the bot lane is going to be down a good amount of CS to start this off. And the TF backing with the double longsword. This TF opting for the lethal tempo instead of the PTA. I'm thinking that that may come into play more so later. The PTA TF we saw a couple days ago was very good early game and still had the damage to follow up late game, but I think that was in part due to the money they had to lead. But with all of that being said, we're not looking at that game. We're looking at this game. The junglers, I mean, they're vying for that level 4 right now, but Lilia's starting to walk up towards the Fiora. Will anything come of it?
It looks like she'll just walk away there. The Swirling Seed kind of missing there. And I want to touch back on the lethal tempo. So if you look at Americans comp, they have the Galio, they have the Janna, things to keep people off the TF. So he can really just hit over and over. So that lethal tempo is going to get super value later into the game like you were saying. But also the Janna buying the tier 2 boots first. Normally you wouldn't think anything, guys. We see Ahri almost dying there, just barely getting out. We'll have the TP, so we'll just look to recall and TP. But the Janna with tier 2 boots, usually you wouldn't think anything of them. But Janna, you have to remember her W kind of damage here scales off move speed. So,
oh my goodness.
So she's actually getting more damage. So you'll usually see the Ionian boots or the boots of Swifties to kind of ramp your early damage, especially with that Hail of Blades. You're looking to win this lane.
Yes, and with the gold charts up on the board, we can see where the money lies. Bot lane up about 700 gold on top of both the AD carry and the support. It's very difficult to bring back your early money, but it can happen. You just need a little bit of love from your jungler, and I think you were right on that earlier. We're going to see them just sort of take their time, sort of vibe until level 6, but the grubs are still a point of contention.
And you'll see they want to contest these, but the Janna already here with those tier 2 boots and the extra movement speed. The Galio going in, going to catch the Lilia on the taunt. Lilia going to be dead here. Fiora picking up the kill on the Lilia.
Oh my goodness.
And they should take the other 2 grubs.
Oh, but suddenly the Janna's up at the grubs and they go in on the TF, Nolan. Getting about half health, Rakan using flash for it. And 2 grubs going to the side of American, 1 for the side of SU. Overall, not a horrible trade, but Lilia going down there isn't exactly helping anything.
Yeah, for sure. And I really like that SU tried to make a cross-map play. They knew the Janna was up there, so there's like, okay, TF's alone. He has no protection. We're going to try and make something happen. Unfortunately, don't get the kill, but this Janna trying to go aggressive, just getting some damage on the Rakan, but nothing comes of it.
Yeah, we do see the Nocturne still topside. I don't imagine they're going to do anything to the Renekton. There's a few characters in top lane that it becomes very dangerous to dive. And a Crocodile who gets a bunch of bonus health and heals ridiculous amounts the more champions he hits. is one of those characters that I wouldn't expect us to see a dive on, especially now that he has hit level 6. But he is keeping up the pressure on this Fiora. Although he is 1 level down, Fiora does go for the ulti. He has to run away, Nolan. Oh no. Fiora ulti going down, and Tabby's immediately bought by Renekton.
Yeah, so those tabbies hopefully will be helping out with the Q and the autos. Lilia going to be looking for a gank, just kind of showing presence here. Not going to get much done, except Rakan's going to go in. Might be able to find something. No root from the Xayah E. Nocturne coming in, going to look on the Xayah, having to flash. He flashes in response, going to get the Xayah. Looking on Rakan now. Okay, now they swap to Lilia. They're going to look to get the kill. Double kill for Nocturne in the bot lane.
That is the value that you want. Nocturne hitting 6 at just the right time, and Lilia going down again. Suddenly, the value of getting your ultimates is so incredibly visible, as Lilia is still level 5 and still hasn't been able to make a play yet. And oh my goodness, the bone plating value on that. That was enhanced W, Nolan. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Okay, able to get out.
I've seen that dance before, Nolan.
Yeah, for sure. This TF does a lot more damage than you'd expect, so you really do have to be careful. This Renekton not able to really walk up on the wave. Fiora keeping the wave in such a good spot. It's going to be really hard. Yeah, and when you have... This is the kind of spot where I try to communicate. It is okay to ask for help from your junglers. Fiora breaking the freeze there, it will slowly push towards Renekton, but you do have Lilia on the top side of the map. So while Lilia is not level 6 yet, it may not be a bad idea to just ask for a little bit of help. But as I said, the freeze is breaking. Renekton should be able to get some minions soon, as now I'm starting to see Janna walk towards the mid lane. I'm starting to think that we could have a bit of a scuffle go on right here. And the RA should be fine, has both the flash and the ult up, so they may just try to be burning the ulti, but gonna burn the flash and the ulti. Not expecting the Janna to also be there to chain the CC. Really nicely done by American, as we see Renekton finally being able to farm Lily, just being able to put some pressure, but nothing gonna happen from that. As Rakan looking to deny Janna clearing the wards, but she's just so dang fast that you cannot hit that W on her. Oh my goodness, Nolan. I mean, speed is the name of the game right now. You are able to move so fast. But we're seeing Nocturne now topside, going for the invade on the Lilia, and immediately jumping on Nolan. Oh, and that's just, oh, the sleep. Really nice sleep. Gonna possibly tick down to burn. No, gonna get out versus that red buff. Really, really scary, but not a kill. Yeah, I mean, single-digit health on the side of Lilia. That sleep putting in so much work, but I'm still very scared because that's a Nocturne ulti burned, but you still have a Galio ulti on the map. You still have Fiora ulti, and Nocturne immediately diving for the grubs. As the bot lane crashes, we see Exil starting to walk up, trying to see if he can get anything, maybe a potential steal, a quick Q over the wall. We will have to see. No, sir. The grubs have fallen into the hands of American, which means that American has 5 grubbies. They're going to be spawning one of the little grub boy, and that will cause a lot of tower damage across the board. Yeah, and that's super, super scary with the comp that American has here. They have the Fiora, they have the TF, both really good at taking towers, especially since the E got buffed with this ADTF. So this Fiora will be a menace in the side lane, already up 2-0. The Renekton looking for a trade onto her. The Fiora gonna ult, both looking to flash. She's really trying to look to proc that ulti, gonna do it. Not quite finding the damage, but a lot of health up in that trade. Yeah, when you're playing Renekton, your best friend is building AD, and you do need to respect the Fiora and build those tabbies, but at a cost. Your damage is not going to be nearly as big. Nolan, the Kelly ult's coming in. Oh, and we see these cross-map ults being able to just catch the jungler. So the Janna just walks in to be like, okay, I have friends in both lanes. I'm just going to walk in and 1v1 your jungler. Oh, and suddenly there's 4 people there. So,
yeah, there's a big phrase when we play League. Oh, TF going for the gold card. And, oh my goodness, well, 1 cycle.
wow. So Janna actually picking up the kill there, using both the flash and ignite to secure that kill. And it's looking really scary on this bot lane. The Janna picking up 3 of the 4 kills there, though, so far in the bot lane. But they're going to end up taking this tower. Those grubs coming in clutch.
Yeah, I mean, look how fast they take this tower. They're going to get the 5 plates and the bonus gold before the 14-minute mark. And I want to talk a little bit about the items we're seeing on the map, because we see Galio built Shirelias.
And I was just about to comment on that. A really interesting pickup, but going to really help. So you have your Nocturne, your Galio, your TF, your Janna. At this point in the game, you're all just wanting to run at them. Yeah. So I honestly don't blame them. A unique choice, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's definitely, when you have this strategy of, like, everyone is going to dive bomb any given character at any given time, it's good to have the speed to get there. So I agree with you. The build's going to be good. The Fiora has healed back so much, and they're looking to dive the Crocodile. I will take back what I said. When the Crocodile's low enough, it's probably worth the dive.
And the double sleep coming on, going to interrupt the Janna R, but Lilia just kind of fighting for their lives here. The Galio able to pick up the kill off the TP top, and they should be able to take this top turret. Another dragon also taken on the other side of the map by the Nocturne.
Yeah, these are the snowball-y plays that win you games, Nolan, because jungler responded to the other side of the map, saw that the Lilia was topside and said, well, this dragon's mine. So
yeah, absolutely. And again, that Janna being at every single play, just look at the items. She's just so fast.
Yeah. Moving at Mach 10, I mean.
And I believe that Janna also has picked up a Shirelias here. So double Shirelias move speed, they're just wanting to run at them.
It's a unique approach, but frankly, it's one that I'm a fan of. If you're going to be playing in a movement speed oriented meta of sorts, why not just double down, right?
Yeah, and they're just able to get these rotations off so fast. Being able to make use of the Janna passive, the double Shirelias, the global ultis, they're just everywhere.
Yeah, and frankly, it's on SU to really start communicating. As much as they would want a kill to get back onto the board to really show that, like, we mean business and we're starting to get our items, you have to understand, if you see a support player alone in your side of the jungle, they are not alone. There is the full squad ready to jump in as the Janna jumps into the Herald and immediately goes for the crash.
And the Galio flashing in, going to be able to find the taunt. The Xayah instantly dead. Ahri trying to find something, going to be instantly ulted by the Nocturne, going to be found dead there in the mid lane. Galio still trying to go for more, going to be half health though, not able to find more. Still 2 kills picked up on the side of American.
And look how they staggered their Shirelias, man. They ran at them so incredibly fast and ran for them for so incredibly long, as now Animated is the one in a very awkward spot, but they opt not to dive.
Yeah, they're not too tanky, so can't really take many of those tower shots, but still able to poke him down to about 20% HP. He needs to say, I need to get the heck out of here.
And get out of there he will. A very good play from the side of SU just to make sure you're not taking too much damage. And items starting to complete again for the side of SU. We're seeing Renekton with the Eclipse, Lilia getting close to that Leandries, but Ahri with everyone's favorite mage item, that ult CDR, is going to be so incredibly valuable.
Yeah, especially versus this comp where they just want to run at you. Being able to dash away and say, no, I don't want any of that as much as possible is definitely a good thing.
Right, we talked about it earlier. Disengage and then find an opportunity to slap back, because they will need to be on top of you for at least a second or two to get the Galio ulti and the Nocturne. Like, you don't dash near them like Kaisa, you dash on top of them. So if you get the chance to run away, that's the goal.
Oh my gosh, and look at that W damage. That was 1 W on the Renekton from Ajana. That is disgusting.
Oh no, man. Jeez. We are also seeing Twisted Fate opting for another build, another different variety than what we have seen on this desk so far. The Kraken Slayer into the Ginsu's Rageblade. I understand its purpose. That doesn't mean I fully understand going at second.
Yeah, so a lot of people have been trying different builds. You've seen the Kerchi Shard build, you've seen Rageblade. A lot of people have been liking Kraken. Honestly, you can kind of just build whatever the heck you want. As long as it's an attack speed AD item that with crit, you can kind of just build whatever the heck you want.
Well, there you go.
I know our ADC has kind of been experimenting with that on his own, as well as Fiora looking for a kill. Going to be flashing away the sleep from the Lilia, helping him get out, but he's still going to be caught by that movement speed. He's going to be dead. Rakan ulting here, trying to disengage, but look at the movement speed. They just keep running at him as Fiora going to be picking up a double kill. Galio barely escaping,
no.
Unfortunately not able to get the shutdown. That would have been a lot of gold to help kind of bring things back here.
Oh my goodness, Lord, they were able to chase him so far and keep up with the pace. Rakan dashing in, trying to help, but instead Galio was mid-taunt and really just brought them all together, only for Fiora to slice and dice her way through it. As now 3 players going down topside means a dragon for American. 3 dragons, you got 1 more until you become the beast that you want to be for that soul. So it's looking difficult for SU to come back into this, but it's possible, right? You got shutdowns on the board, you got shutdowns on the turrets, so many bounties. It's just a matter of how do you get them?
Yeah, and they do have a lot of options to be able to get them. They have the sleep on the Lilia. They have Ahri being able to dash and kind of charm. They have the Rakan able to charm ult into W. So they have a lot of ways to kind of just CC chain someone to blow them up. So I'd like to see them try and do that. Try and catch someone off vision and really get those shutdowns to try and get back into this game, because otherwise they're just going to keep bleeding.
Yeah, I love what we saw topside. We saw the Lilia sort of safeguarding this Renekton, shadowing as it goes in the League of Legends community. And the idea is you keep up with that player and allow them to go for that tower, try to get that money, but then they see the Galio, this 3-0-5 Galio with a 10-stack Dark Seal, and they say, I don't know if we can even 2v1 this. So they opt to recall, reset, just take what money they can get by pushing those waves. And it's becoming a dangerous game now because we see American opting in for the Baron.
Yeah, and they have so much damage. The Nocturne being able to opt into this more lethality build instead of the Bruiser build you typically see on Nocturne, because they have the Galio, they have the Janna, things to just keep you alive. So you can just say, hey, I don't care about my health. I'm just going to do as much damage as I can. And both of those champions able to just keep him alive. So he can just ult in and just do insane amounts of damage.
Absolutely. Now, we saw a quick trade down bot side with Fiora and Ahri. Ahri, while having the full completed item, Fiora is at 2. While not having any MR, it's a lot of healing. And with built-in healing in the kit, it's becoming a very difficult game, but a fight's breaking out.
And Rakan looking for the ult, looking to really catch someone. They're able to find the sleep only on 1 on Galio burning down, but the card able to snipe the Xayah here, trading 2 for 0 on the side of American. A lot of low health bars, just not able to pick up any kills.
Yes, and we do see now SU's players are all full health. Are they going to opt to go back in? 2 players are recalling on the side of American, but another fight may break out. TP coming in. Is there any play?
So the Galio TPing back in. They're trying to look for something on Fiora, but she's just too slippery. Not able to find anything yet. It looks like American is just kind of waiting, maybe waiting for the TF to kind of ult in and then seal the deal here. As you see, there's a huge wave top lane that they're looking to just 3-inhib and just end the game with these grubs.
Yeah, grubs and Baron, everything's up. When it's purple, it's in the hands of American. I mean, they have as much as they need. All of these creatures, all of these jungle camps are suddenly putting up so much value. And now, as SU just has to back away, it ends with an American victory. A solid game plan, a solid game play. 17-0, Nolan. That was a very dominant, commanding presence.
Yeah, and again, what we were talking about pre-game, what we were talking about in-game, those global ults, the Shirelias, the just being able to rotate on a whim. So they were just all across the map. SU just, they were scrambling, just not able to kind of react.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about it last time, and we'll talk about it again. Money is your best friend in these games. It is what enables you to build your items. Again, you can deal damage via 2 ways. You can either get the stats through leveling up, or you can get it through buying items, both of which require you to be near the minion wave, getting experience, and last hitting, getting that money, as well as finding money elsewhere on the map. And when you're struggling, when you can't find those opportunities, because if you take the risk and try to walk forward, you will get jumped by a bunch of people who have been able to get money elsewhere on the board. And it doesn't matter if you have the counter pick or not. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, for sure. And in terms of adaptation for coming into this next game, what I think SU has to do is they have to ban one of those globals, which I think has to be TF.
Yeah, I agree with that. TF has had such a commanding presence that I feel like if you do get rid of it, it's just like, welcome back to your standard League of Legends. It adds that sense of familiarity. What do you think about the Galio? What were your thoughts on it this game?
The Galio definitely was a main part of their kind of game plan there, able to just kind of secure anyone who was maybe caught out or just make plays on a whim. So you saw that Janna kind of walk into their SU's blue side, and just everyone showed up, Galio able to ult, so they couldn't really do damage to the Janna, and then just the E with the taunt, just being able to just run at people, taunt them, keep them there while TF just hits them. It was a very pivotal part of their game plan, kind of their main tank. Yeah. So they definitely have to figure out what is the greatest of kind of the 3 evils of cross map here.
Right, because we talked about it before the game even started. There's a reason why we saw that Darius ban, is because we know that they play it, we know the character's good, and it's the kind of thing you have to respect. But when you're playing so many globals, it means you have to sacrifice a ban, and I don't know what that ban is going to be. You could get rid of the Darius ban, but I don't know. That character's so good, Nolan. It's a risky game.
Yeah, I think here you kind of have to ban the Darius. I think you also have to ban the Maokai. Definitely. It's also flex pick. It's really good in the meta right now. Just being able to set up plays with that huge ulti, being able to roam with both the Swifty boots and the backpack item. So I think you kind of have to take out the Volley Bear. You kind of have to risk that and put in the TF for the ban and just kind of reform your game plan.
That makes sense to me. But while we wait with bated breath to see what the players will come up with for this next draft phase, we are going to take a very quick break. Don't go anywhere, because we will have more exciting League of Legends action in just a little bit.
tier 2 boots and the extra movement speed. The Galio going in, gonna catch the Lilia on the taunt. Lilia gonna be dead here. Fiora picking up the kill.
Fiora, although he is 1 level down, Fiora does go for the ulti. He has
Gang just kind of showing presence here, not going to get much done, except Rakan's going to go in, might be able to find something. No root from the Xayah E. Nocturne coming in, gonna look on the Xayah, having to flash. He flashes in response, gonna get the Xayah, looking on Rakan now. Okay, now they swap to Lilia. They're gonna look to get the kill, double kill for Nocturne in the bot lane.
now top side, going for the invade on the Lilia, and immediately jumping on Nolan.
Oh, and that's just, oh, the sleep, really nice sleep, gonna...
But at a cost, your damage is not going to be nearly as big. Nolan, the Kelly ult's coming in.
Oh, and we see these cross-map...
So I agree with you. The build's going to be good. The Fiora has healed back so much, and they're looking to dive the Crocodile. I will take back what I said. When the Crocodile's low enough, it's probably worth the dive.
And the double sleep coming on, gonna interrupt the Janna R, but Lilia just kind of fighting for their lives here. The Galio...
As Janna jumps into the Herald and immediately goes for the crash.
And the Galio flashing in, gonna be able to find the taunt. The Xayah instantly dead. Already trying to find something, gonna be instantly ulted by the Nocturne, gonna be found dead there in the mid lane. Galio still trying to go for more, gonna be experimenting with that on his own, as well as Fiora looking for a kill. Gonna be flashing away the sleep from the Lilia, helping him get out, but he's still gonna be caught by that movement speed. He's gonna be dead. Rakan ulting here, trying to disengage, but look at the movement speed. They just keep running at him as Fiora
Fight's breaking out.
and Rakan looking for the ults, looking to really catch someone. They're able to find the sleep only on one on Galio burning down, but the card able to snipe the Xayah here.
And we are back. A very short break for all of you back at home, but I have a new person on the desk with me right now. We got Will. Will, how are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. Really a very interesting game one, I might add. Definitely not what we expected. Both these teams very close on paper, but all fair play to American. They played absolutely phenomenal in that game one, so it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams will do heading into game number 2 of this series.
Yes, and we talked about it a little bit on the desk before. There's a certain love for this, for these global strategies, and I feel
Bear would
as
be
though,
happy.
Yeah, exactly. But
Bear would be very happy with that strat that American ran.
yeah, it's the kind of strategy that there are answers to, and you can play around, but it's not easy.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think looking back at when that was our premier strategy was to run the Nocturne ult with the Camille Galio, it definitely did a lot of damage, and that game really shows why Galio only built Shireldias and was still chunking people for half of their health, so the character doesn't need damage to do damage.
Yeah.
Or damaging items to do damage. He can build tanky, he can build whatever, so that adds another element. Plus, you're dealing with all these globals, all these 4v4s constantly everywhere on the map. You have Fiora just whittling away with her sword at the tower, so like it's so difficult to stop, and there's really no counter to the global besides just kill him. And Shenandoah wasn't able to do that fast enough, and they suffered the wrath of the globals that game.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate for the top side of the map. I do feel like that matchup can go either way. I think it became a lot more difficult. Fiora does get an early kill, and Renekton immediately went for the tabbies, which I feel as though, like, on paper, it makes sense, right? I died to a physical attacker, therefore I should build armor, and then I won't die as much. You can still box against this Fiora. You can still go in, you can still deal your full combo and really shred them. But there's a place for that, and I do think he did a good job of really stopping as much bleeding as he could.
Yeah.
It was just, there's so much pressure on the rest of the map, which brings me to another point. When we saw the junglers in this game, the two of them were very, like, passive up through 6, and just kind of did their own thing. You know?
As soon as they hit 6, though, it was full send into every lane possible.
Yeah, I feel as though the game was very close up through those first 6 levels, and then it just became oh, there's a Janna in our jungle? That's not allowed. Like, you're not allowed to be there. And then suddenly, as Nolan put it, the Avengers show up and everyone just gets domed. So it is the kind of play that you really need to be aware of, you need to respect. I don't know. It's a dangerous game.
It is definitely a slippery slope. And one thing I also noticed was when Renekton hit 6, he went to level his ultimate and misclicked and missed the ult button. So that trade you saw against the Fiora was missing, because if you see the ult button, it doesn't light up, meaning it's not available. Because he missed the level, which is absolutely devastating in top lane of all lanes.
Yeah.
And on a Renekton of all people. When in that fight against Fiora, you need that. What are they doing? they need that ultimate. You need that extra bout of health, that Fury generation to help get the enhanced damage and the healing.
Right.
To really help not die to the amount of damage and healing that Fiora does.
Right. Oh man, there are so many things that, like, that the ult situation is already unfortunate, but it's the kind of thing that thankfully you can. We're in a best of 3, so like you're able to go in and say like, all right, I'll shake that off, brush that off, and be like, we can deal with this next game, and I'm going to not only have my point in my ultimate, but I'm going to dunk on you as hard as I can. So I hope to see that happen. That would be nice.
Yeah, and I think this game is really a test for this SU Red secondary roster. Definitely a big. This entire competition is a big ask of them. There's some very tough teams in this competition that I don't even think you guys on blue would be able to take out, or else it'd be really close. If you did. But I feel like American and SU Red are very close together in skill level, but I think that last game really showed the knowledge, I wouldn't say gap, but the knowledge advantage, the draft advantage that American had heading into that one.
Yeah, I feel as though when you can sit down, and we did a little bit of this at the start of this semester, where you go in and you have these sort of draft ideas. You're like, okay, let's make a comp for Poke, let's make a comp for Wombo, Combo, Team, whatever.
Yeah.
But the strange thing about this meta, there was no preseason.
Yeah, that.
So drastic changes are being made constantly right now, which is fine. Like, it's not like super detrimental, and players are beginning to adapt.
Yeah.
But you're seeing a lot of characters and a lot of strategies being implemented that I feel as though you wouldn't see any other season in League unless it's like Banner of Command, for those of you who remember that. Banner of Command and ZZ Rot. But it's...
I know ZZ Rot from TFT.
Yeah, there you go. But it was a whole thing of like, the item was there, people didn't really build it ever, and then a bunch of people were like, well, what if we stack these items? And then it just popped in out of nowhere. Yeah, 5 people building ZZ Rot, 5 people building Banner.
I remember hearing about that. It was not a fun time.
Right, exactly. And so when you have these sort of strategies that are like sort of weird and out there, I feel as though this could just be a me thing. Galio building Shurelias is not normal.
It's not. Well,
at least not in support.
I was talking with Sincere in the broadcast room, and he was like, "Yeah, I've never seen that pretty much ever." So definitely something to keep an eye on. The Hail of Blades Janna, though, I think Ether did a great job of explaining that really as a pressure standpoint, because you're up against Zaya Rakan. You know, they have the potential to really just delete you in seconds, so keeping that added pressure on that lane constantly, not allowing them to get set up for that position with the Hail of Blades is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on as we head into draft. And there it is, the first ban, the Fiora. No one in top lane wants to play against that.
The character almost not seeing the light of day this season, and yet one player on American says, what if I try to bring it out anyway? And SU says, no, get it out of here.
What if I don't want you to have fun? Meanwhile, on the other side, we see TF and Karma and Maokai ban, the big 3 right now with this current meta. definitely something to keep an eye on. And then we have Darius as well being locked in for Shenandoah on that top lane against Shen. Very interesting matchup, both of them with potential in the early game. Shen, early game, surprisingly strong, but falls off super hard at post 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of, we talked about, I mean, we saw it firsthand, right? American loves their globals, and so giving Shen a global ultimate to be in the same lane as Darius, but then Darius, well, you know, Shen walks away for half a second. What in the world?
Aatrox mid? Okay, I can't say that I'm really surprised about that. I've seen Exil play it several times.
Oh,
he's a big Aatrox guy. And if you get the spacing right, good luck, because Aatrox is an absolute menace right now this season with Sunder Sky and Eclipse being a non-lethality and just flat AD. Really just Bruiser Aatrox hits like Assassin Aatrox of 2 seasons ago.
Jeez, man. That is, I mean, that to me, that feels almost bold. I love the pick because it's not traditional. But when we come to traditional, I mean, the bot lane is looking like what I expect.
I was just about to comment on that. We have double AP bot lane, which this Pantheon is absolutely going to feast on because he could just go in for free and then take no damage from their spell. So I think definitely it's going to be a matter of discipline for this bot lane, really holding on to those abilities that are going to make the impact. But you have to be so careful about that median, because if you go too far to the end, then the Jhin is going to absolutely destroy you. If you focus too much on the Jhin, then the Pantheon is free-shotting you. Right. So that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. I expect to see some early ganks out of the Vi here to really help them get along in this early game against this Pantheon. But I am not crazy on this Aatrox matchup against LeBlanc. I think that is LeBlanc favored. So definitely going to be interesting to see how Shenandoah approaches this game.
Yeah, the thing that I do like on the side of SCU is that there is just a super amount of healing.
There is a lot.
You got Darius healing, you got Aatrox healing, you got Seraphine healing. And on the side of American, I don't know who you give the grievous wounds to. And like,
it's going to have to be Pantheon most likely, because you're going to have Pantheon initiating most of the fights, because Shen's going to follow in with the shield afterwards. Yeah. And then maybe even Jarvan, but at that point, you know, you already want the Pantheon applying that grievous wounds. LeBlanc doesn't do any AoE. So they really have that lockdown single target pick potential. But in team fights, I mean, Shenandoah is looking like team fight right now, because that team fight is absolutely disgusting and has a lot of potential to really mess you up. And hey, you could have 4 healers as well if Lux builds Crypt Bloom. It's not going to happen. Like, it shouldn't happen. If I see Crypt Bloom, I'm walking out of here. Yeah. But
the two of us are taking
theoretically,
off our headsets.
Yeah, I was saying, like, what's the point of us even being here if we're going to see a Lux with Crypt Bloom in support? Like, we might as well just not even be here at that point.
Jeez, man, oh my god. Oh Lord.
Just give everyone healing. Give Vi Death's Dance technically has healing on it. Yeah, it's just stored damage.
Yeah.
5 healers. There we go. Problem solved.
Yeah. What do you do? Nothing.
Oh wait, no, Sunder Sky Vi. There you go. You got healing. There you go. 5 healers.
Yeah.
We found it. Yes. What if everyone just built Sunder Sky?
Oh my lord.
Surely that was balanced, right, Riot?
Yeah.
Give us back Divine, you cowards. You cowards.
No. I want Darius to stay as far away from this meta as possible, but
Darius went Divine? That's terrifying to think about.
No,
I'm glad I never faced that.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
I just mostly want it for Camille. Is my thinking for it. But yeah, no. Talking about the Shen pick as well for American. Yeah. That is their only global this game. Well, no, Pantheon. Never mind, I lied. Yeah. So they are sticking with the global strategy, which worked out perfectly for them last time. I mean, quite literally perfect. No deaths on their end. So definitely they're gonna they've got a lot to live up to in this game. And if you're Shenandoah, the only place is up. I mean,
yeah.
As long as you get a kill, you're already doing better than the last game.
Yeah, I feel as though SU struggled to really find the answer for what global was last game. From what I remember, playing against people when doing comps similar to this,
Back in my day.
Yeah, exactly. Back in my day.
Back in my day.
It was all a lot of the answer was pick, where
Yeah.
you would there was a game where people would go 5 sweepers and make sure that the map
Me and Timo.
the map was just dark for the side that had the global comp, because they would have to walk up. You would
Yeah.
have to walk up to bait something, but you don't know where anybody is.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Crouching Tiger is about to hit him real hard.
yeah. But I don't know if you can get away with something like that with the comp that they have
No.
built. I like that that SU has this strong team fighting comp. And frankly, if one good Seraphine ulti into one
Yes.
good Aatrox like combo,
Q3.
they explode.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah,
Especially if it's Infernal Soul.
right. And the only tank I would argue is going to be Shen with the potential of Jarvan. I've seen more damaged Jarvans recently, but it could just be a matter of preference. But as we get into the game, we see that American is starting to walk in as 5. There's a firm mattress just waiting in the bush as Pantheon jumps in, and everyone's getting slapped. Will, we've all been there.
Yep. The late reaction time by Firm Mattress right there is just sitting in bush with no ward down and gets punished for that. The root, the stun, the whole shebang really hitting all at once on that Seraphine, and Seraphine early. That's not going to be good. On the bright side, it went to probably the worst laner on the team of American. Shen lane is so terrible. It is so frustrating, the lane as you have the early kill pressure, yes, but good luck clearing any waves ever. It's the same concept as Camille, really, where except you have it on the opposite end, where Camille is unstoppable late and terrible early and with terrible wave clear. Shen is unstoppable early with terrible wave clear.
Yeah, the good news is that right now Pantheon is like, he's back in the lane. He has his support item. I don't think we will see any problems. This is how I was expecting this lane to go. Yes, Pantheon, the moment he jumps on either Seraphine or Lux, is going to deal a lot of damage. The big thing is that you have to get there first.
Yep. Yeah, definitely going to be the biggest question heading into this is Pantheon going to be able to walk forward and play the video game?
Right.
And I think, again, that partially relies on the jungle. They know he's there. They get the airy proc, so they know that Panth is in that jungle bush just waiting for them to step up.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this.
Yeah, like, how are you going to be able to get through? Plus, Lux E is going to give you vision. I think it's mostly going to be a waiting game for Mattress, just wasting ability and mana on those waves. So I think if Pantheon can get that going, it's going to be heavily in their favor.
Yeah, and we do see a little bit of what else is going on the map. We do see that the bot lane fight is starting.
Oh, and we see a pickup there by the Jhin early on. The Pantheon stun does its job. Gets the 3 autos and cleans it up with the ADC. Absolutely just textbook work from that Pantheon right there to help secure American their second kill of the game.
Yeah, there's a 5-stack Darius on the top side of the map, Will. And
that is giving me serious flashbacks to my early days of League, of not knowing how to beat Darius. And really, I still don't know. Hence, this is why I'm behind the desk.
No, I can't give you that answer, and I play this game still. That character is incredibly good right now. But we do see Shen teleporting back into the lane and immediately buying anti-heal. He goes for the Bramble Vest.
So I guess we got our answer on who's going to be building anti. Too bad it is the worst anti-heal item in the game.
Yeah.
Riot, please fix that item. I love it so much, but please fix it. Yeah. Meanwhile, that is a fat mid-wave for Aatrox Q2 to just absolutely clean up, and I think he's setting it up for that as the wave is going to crash. Meanwhile, Pantheon stepping up, roaming, doing what they do best. Galaxy Bird trying to run away, is running as fast as she can from this. Pantheon's forced to flash over, but the Ignite is going to go through, and so is the dash by the LeBlanc, and then Vi is going to be the next to fall right there. Double kill for the LeBlanc mid. Not what you want to see when you're up against a LeBlanc mid as Aatrox at all.
Right, and so now you have this awkward situation where LeBlanc is 2-0-1 and a character who really likes it when you don't have mobility to get out of Aatrox W. If I'm Exil, I'm getting a little worried, I'm getting a little nervous. I would start asking for help from the jungler because I think the pressure from this lane is going to be wild, as we do see a little bit more as top lane is starting to push into the Darius, and Shen doing a great job of really spacing out the Darius Q. Oh, Darius having to use Ghost, but the wave is crashing. I wouldn't be too surprised if it just sort of plays a little bit more passively as the grubs start to spawn.
Interesting play here by Salson, trying to get aggressive. Maybe was looking for a gank, heading up towards grubs on the top side. Wave was crashed, but you have Darius too low to really do anything, and then the heal cut is not really going to actually heal all that much. So Jarvan's basically going to get these grubs for free, force Vi into a 1v1, and you have your mid laner right there as LeBlanc. With the amount of mobility LeBlanc has, those grubs are as good as yours.
Right, and while all of this is happening, I do want to acknowledge that, yes, the kills are on the board, and we are starting to see where the gold deficits are going to lie. SU is doing a really good job of keeping up in the CS department.
Yes.
Which is where you, like, if you're going to lose money anywhere, that is the last place you want to lose it because it's one that you have the most control over.
Yeah.
So the fact that they are generally keeping up with CS is good, but as we see these kills fall onto these carries, the Jhin, the LeBlanc, those numbers may start to increase more and more as we do see a little bit of a breakaway in the mid and the bot lane.
Yeah, and if you're going to come back in a game, you're not going to be able to come back if you don't have as many resources at your disposal as the other team. So really having that CS able to keep somewhat level with them is, like you said, it's the biggest part of this for Shenandoah, because without it, you have zero chance of winning. Meanwhile, Root going to come out from Jhin W, but not quite going to find anything, and Seraphine will continue to free farm Lux. And Seraphine live to tell another day, but for Matchers looking a little low on mana in that scenario. It's Salson clearing out vision and is almost walked the wrong direction right there.
Yeah, there's a big man in the bush. That Pantheon would have done so much damage. And Exil, the Aatrox, still very low under tower, but a fight's breaking out, and we are seeing people go down. Seraphine knocked down, the Lux knocked down, abilities flying left and right. Vi also, I mean, it was just textbook.
Yeah, the Shen ult right there really coming in, helping secure the kill and securing first dragon. Phenomenal team fight right there by American, and this is exactly what I think their comp is designed to do, really bait someone into that team fight potential. And then what was once 3 is now all of a sudden 5 in that scenario. So definitely you always have to have that on the back of your mind if you are Shenandoah. Meanwhile, Animated going to try and push us out and get a plate, but I don't think he's going to be able to in time.
Yeah, and we're seeing right now, yes, that Darius was able to push the wave, and he is going to stay close up top side, but there's a Pantheon walking into the top lane right now, and a Vi close at hand. But when you're walking and doing this, I wouldn't be surprised if Pantheon opts in for the ulti. Oh, no, he's level 4. What am I saying?
Yeah, it's support Pantheon, not top lane Pantheon.
Right.
So we're not quite there yet. But Ascending Ace really having that wave crash underneath their tower definitely goes to show what I was talking about Shen wave clear right there. I mean, had at least double-digit casters just whittling away at that tower, and he probably only got 3 or 4 of them because it's just the way that Shen is as a character. You know, you get great team fight, great support potential for the rest of your team. You get a global ultimate that it gives a massive shield, but you can't clear wave. There's got to be a weakness somewhere, and that's just where it happens to be.
Yeah, speaking of weaknesses, we are seeing the problems on the map where the money is starting to fall, and while the top side of the map is doing relatively well, the jungle is down about 600. The mid lane has almost double Aatrox's money.
Yeah.
And that, oh man, that's going to be hard to come back from. It's going to be a matter of getting Aatrox out of that mid lane. You don't want him against that LeBlanc anymore, man. Give him something else.
Yeah, you really don't. Maybe even send him bot lane. I don't even know what you would really do in that scenario. And I think that was really the biggest question mark heading into this game is this Aatrox going to be allowed to play the game? The answer right now is no. Granted, Aatrox hasn't died, but he also hasn't really been able to farm freely. I mean, almost double CS in the mid lane department. Definitely something to keep an eye on as this game moves along. And then LeBlanc also picking up those kills doesn't help out at all. The root going to miss, but LeBlanc doing LeBlanc things is going to teleport back to safety. And I think getting to this late game is the key for Shenandoah, but as of right now, they are not on track to hit that.
Oh my goodness, the curtain call used to really push out the Lux from lane as the Grubs have spawned, and I don't know if we're going to see the answer from the side of Shenandoah because the money is really starting to bleed. So you can try to answer, but there are 3 people on that. Aatrox needs time to get back into this game. I don't know.
Yeah, and on the bot lane right there, double kill for Jin, able to 1v2 the bot lane of Shenandoah. Absolutely phenomenal. Idiot Maker with a kill on the animated. Right now, this bot lane for American is the difference maker in this game. I mean, you have a Jin who's able to 1v2 2 enchanters. You have a Pantheon who's been everywhere on the map, causing plays, wreaking havoc wherever he walks. I mean, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Meanwhile, ultimate from Vi is going to come out. The fear from the Darius or Aatrox ult is going to also go off, but not quite going to find anything. Not enough damage on their own. Salson will fall, as will Exil, and just like that, American picks up 2 more kills to add to their total.
Yes, and Aatrox burning the flash while in the Jarvan ulti did have the healing to survive despite not having the items. It would have been a great opportunity to really just show off the character's healing, the ability to really keep this fight going, but it's so rough when you're dealing with characters who can dash around, fly around.
Yeah.
And it also didn't help that they tried to execute the LeBlanc clone.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if I'm Darius in that trade that we just saw against Shen, I'm just running him down. I'm going full send. I'm just throwing everything I have right at him. There's no wave to really contest you. There's no wave to really crash. There's 2 minions you'll miss out on. Make him not want to step up ever again in that lane. And that's your job as Darius. You have to go full aggressive, especially against someone with low kill threat like Shen is right now. We see the Pantheon ult come out from the bot lane as well. Curtain Call going to take out for Mattress, maybe find a second. Galaxy Bird trying to run for their life, but just can't quite find anything. The final shot, not going to quite be enough damage to find the kill. And Galaxy Bird lives to tell the tale of the bot lane against American.
Yeah, and this again is, oh man, it gets so scary when you have this sort of mountain to climb to get back into this game. There are still no kills on the side of Shenandoah, but they're trying to really find these opportunities. Lux able to make it out of that, but it's just becoming so... It's becoming such a risky situation as we see the dangers of that mid lane matchup. I mean,
yeah,
Aatrox used full combo in a top lane melee matchup. You're half health when you're dealing with a LeBlanc who's over here and then over there. Again, it's such a rough lane to be in, but I do think we may see the fruits later on. It's just a matter of can they get these first items. I do see right now on the minimap, Vi is topside.
I was just going to comment
and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a dive, but this dive isn't in the top side. This one's in the mid lane as Aatrox goes down and more plating is falling into the hands of American.
Yeah, Pantheon kind of hoping that he had the old Pantheon being able to block tower shots, but thankfully that is not a thing anymore, but still ends up picking up the kill and getting out safely, and this lead by American just keeps on growing, and big gold amount going to LeBlanc right there. Tower falling in the middle on the tier 1 for Mattress and Galaxy Bird. Kind of recognizing that they've got a little bit of space to try and get a plate here. Jin is back and has 1v2 before, so definitely going to be something that you want to kind of keep an eye on. But if we take a look everywhere else on the map, I mean,
no,
it's just everywhere. We see LeBlanc TP just actually one-shot the Lux. What?
Oh my goodness, that was I mean, it's Assassin Gaming. That is your dream, right there.
Yeah, they weren't kidding when they said LeBlanc hurts. Like, oh my goodness! And with how strong the mage items are this season, really big. We see a gank come out here from top lane, 5 stacks onto the Shen. The flash Q is gonna miss,
he's
gonna go for the dunk, but not quite gonna be enough damage. The bleed is still gonna be up though. Stop the recall right there up in top lane. And really great play there by Shenandoah. Just unfortunate not to get the result that they wanted.
Oh, man. And the Jarvan ulting in immediately, punishing the Darius from walking up just a little too far after that play, thinking Shen is out of this fight. Clearly nothing bad will happen, but there's a Rift Herald on the top side of the map. And you are dealing with a bunch of strong and scary individuals on the side of American.
Yeah, it's particularly that that LeBlanc really just absolutely terrifying right now. And Exil, not really much you can do as an Aatrox, because Aatrox is one of those characters. Yeah, he just gets deleted. That was why I was just going to continue on with my point, because Aatrox is one of those top laners that really thrives on being ahead, and when he's not, he just doesn't feel that good. So I think that was really, once we saw the early game go in favor of this LeBlanc, it was just kind of like a, is this going to be a just not fun game for this Aatrox? And so far it hasn't been. I mean, almost double the CS, 8-1-4 from a LeBlanc, who quite literally one-shotted your ADC, or your support in almost your ADC. Definitely not the position you want to be in.
Yeah, and unfortunately for what we saw topside, that was just an execute for the kill, but instead now we see mid lane, a kill onto the Lux, the Seraphine ulti coming out. The Jhin 4th shot's still there. You gotta body block that, otherwise you just explode. And so now the bot lane is down for the side of Shenandoah, and we do see the Herald coming out.
Tokyo Drift.
Yep, Jarvan opting in to just start dashing, but we do see Darius topside. You're fighting a Darius. This might be dangerous. Oh, it worked out, though.
Yeah, the double heal cut right there from Ignite, and the Grievous wounds as well. Really doing some work right there. Yes, I know they don't stack.
No, I'm more so fascinated by the build that Shen and Jarvan got going on right now. I'm seeing double Sunfires.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that is, but really when you're as far ahead as American, do you really want to be worrying about your build at this point in
that's
time?
Fair.
You're up nearly 15k gold. You're one-shotting supports in the game, and you don't even have first item completed on majority of the players for Shenandoah. Two of the players don't have their first item. Aatrox just finished it. Never mind.
Oh,
but
man.
You get your first item done at 17 minutes. That's usually not a good thing.
Right. You ideally want your first item around the 10-minute mark. That's generally where a lot of these plays lie. But we do see Exil down in the bot lane, and another dive coming out. But he has the Sundered Sky completed, which means the healing is so good, but no KOs for Exil. Instead, everyone's just going to walk away.
Yeah, and Shenandoah, despite putting up goose egg numbers in that first game, still got a lot of the players on American very low in a lot of these scenarios. So it's just that last little bit of damage that you really need, and can always be so tricky to just. I know it's easy for me to say, oh, just add more damage to them, but
do more damage.
Yeah, just do more damage. Like, come on, man, what are you doing? But no, like it's a lot of these really unfortunate scenarios, but it also plays into what Americans' comp is, and that is bait you into these 1v1s and then surprise. 2 members of the team are here or more. They were either in hiding or used their ultimates to get here. We've seen that so many times this game, and they've executed absolutely flawlessly.
Absolutely. We do see the Dragon start to go. Galaxy
too early
Bird
on the steal.
Yeah, wanted the Lux Laser, saying, all right, I'm going to go for it. And just a little too much health on the Dragon to get that steal. But I also want to acknowledge, while we do see items finally completed for the side of SU, we do see double Sundered Sky like you were talking about earlier, unironically.
Crypt Bloom, come on, let's see it. Come on.
All of the healing items.
5 healing.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some. I would want to see Shenandoah start to almost like understand the respect they need to give to the LeBlanc. That.
Blink and you'll miss it. Oh my goodness.
That's the. I said it. You want to respect that character, which means you want to start pocketing some magic resist. I understand you're wanting the AD. There's a Pantheon, there's a Jarvan, there's a Shen. But there is a 10-and-1 mage who is one-tapping your support and is doming on the AD carry as we
Meanwhile,
speak.
it looks like it's going to be a big shutdown for the Vi. Shenandoah does get the 1,000 gold bounty that was sitting on that LeBlanc in the mid lane. And now Exil trying to get one more on Idiot Maker, who is on a sliver of health. Lux ultimate going to come out, not quite going to find anything now. Exil going to focus and onto this Jhin, but really just doesn't have the damage to really account for it. Jarvan ult going to come out as well. Force to flash is Galaxy Bird, but Exil with that healing, almost able to stay alive. That Jhin just literally is going to just dome you once and you're done. Absolutely just well played right there by the Jhin. You know, staying calm, not really panicking, having a Aatrox in your face and just able to live and pick up the kills. Now Shenandoah, though, on the board with that kill.
Yes, Vi pocketing the shutdown, able to get the Phage and the Caulfields on the reset, is looking to start bulking up a little bit. But again, we're not seeing any magic resist. And as long as there's no magic resist, LeBlanc is going to continue having a heyday. And, oh, that is something.
Can you imagine if she built Magi's this game?
Oh my lord!
It would be way more out of control than it is right now. So I think we can all say, hey, thanks for not, thanks for taking it a little easy on us. You know, not building the, because they would have the full Magi's. And Kevin, I'm gonna hit you with a trivia. At full stacks, what does Magi's give you?
Is it like 100 AP? 110?
Nope.
How much?
It is 10% move speed.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, I bet you did not know that. I found that out today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. cool little League of Legends trivia. Meanwhile, Baron gonna fall in the hands of American as their tirade continues on the Rift in this one. And those Baron minions are looking just absolutely bulky against this underprepared, really, Shenandoah team, as a lot of them with the only one item to their names. We see a lot of them working on that second item. One thing I want to kind of note is the Darius boot choice.
Yes.
I think that is the wrong call in this scenario. You want Merc Treads, no?
Yeah, that very well could be, but we also do see, I mean, with so many AD champions, I understand the idea of survivability. I was going to make a comment about how the game state has really slowed down, and that may be what SU needs. But at the same time, it's starting to, with this Baron play, really the objectives are falling left, right, and center. I mean, literally, bot lane's going down, mid lane inhib's going down, and sure enough, we see rotations starting into the top side of the map as while the fights begin, Pantheon's opting for the one-shot.
Yeah, meanwhile, speaking of one-shots, LeBlanc going to find her next victim in this one, picks up another kill, and now Aatrox ultimate is going to come out. Seraphine uses the charm, but it's not enough damage on the side. Vi also falling to the tirade of the LeBlanc. Darius going for the dunk, doesn't quite have the 5 stacks of the passive to really send that one home, and doesn't quite get it. The Pantheon ultimate coming out, I think just going for a little bit of extra wave clear right there, and now it is all up. The Galaxy Bird, who is left all alone in Fountain, but thankfully is able to live as time will expire, and American University walks away with a 2-0 victory over Shenandoah Red.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just a lot of struggling to find where your money is. It's like, as much as I want to make money, as much as anybody in this world wants to make money, sometimes you just don't know where to find it.
Legends right
now. Right. Sorry. And that's just the big thing about League is you need, in certain situations you need time, But when you're playing on the back foot like that and you have to start giving these objectives and the enemy team knows what to do with the Grubbies, with the Herald, with the Baron. I mean, the Baron was taken and then the game ended. That's how it should be every time. That doesn't mean it does happen every time.
It certainly doesn't.
So it's good on American that they had their game plan. They knew what they wanted and how to close out the game. Even if it wasn't as quick as the first game, they understood, like, we need to, like, this is our way to close out this game.
Yeah, and big plays to American. They played absolutely phenomenal. That is a very different team than the American I remember playing last semester for sure. Really just great on them. They found their identity. They found their game plan that they were going to go for, stuck to it, and it performed it absolutely perfectly. I mean, the Globals just wreaking havoc everywhere on the map, and really no answer for Shenandoah because, I mean, 1 kill out of 2 games is not exactly ideal, Kevin.
Yeah, and I mean, it just shows... It shows the consistency of your players when it comes to American and understanding their game plan, right?
Yeah.
They want to really push the, like, okay, I can chunk them. I'm not going to go for anything crazy. I'm not going to go for this extended fight. I'm just going to do my combo, get out, and then once my wave is shoved under the enemy tower, then we're going to call the jungler. We're going to guarantee the dive. No one's going to die.
Or call the 3 members of the team with ultimates, global ultimates. I mean, that Pantheon being able to roam that game was the nail in the coffin. And we saw it pretty much 4 minutes in.
Yeah.
I mean, it just was everywhere on the map all at once. And just really did a great job of keeping all the lanes alive, really keeping them in the game and being able to catapult them to victory. And then we saw the LeBlanc. What LeBlanc was able to do with that, just absolutely one shot, literally one shot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, less than a second, blink and you'll miss it. I mean, like, it's just absolutely phenomenal from that LeBlanc.
Yeah, and that's, you don't see that much anymore.
No.
So I'm ready for, I'm glad that game's over. I don't need PTSD from multiple seasons
from the
ago.
beginning of the beginning of the season with how bad Storm Surge was.
Yeah.
You had every Magic character building Storm Surge like their life depended on it. But
oh my god.
yeah, really unfortunate there for if you're a fan of Shenandoah, but great if you're a fan of American. Big shout out to both teams. They both played well in their own right. Kevin, thank you for manning the desk today.
Of course.
Absolutely phenomenal job. Shout out to Nolan as well for being on the desk earlier. But I believe that is going to be it from me and Way Awesome Kevin, the top laners for Shenandoah. But yeah, that's going to be it from us, and we'll see you all next time.
2 boots and the extra movement speed. The Galio going in, gonna catch the Lilia on the taunt. Lilia gonna be dead here. Fiora picking up the kill.
Fiora, although he is 1 level down, Fiora does go for the ulti. He has to...
Gang just kind of showing presence here. Not gonna get much done, except Rakan's gonna go in. Might be able to find something. No root from the Xayah E. Nocturne coming in, gonna look on the Xayah, having to flash. He flashes in response, gonna get the Xayah. Looking on Rakan now. Okay, now they swap to Lilia. They're gonna look to get the kill. Double kill for Nocturne in the bot lane.
Now top side, going for the invade on the Lilia, and immediately jumping on Nolan.
Oh, and that's just, the sleep. Really nice sleep. Gonna,
But at a cost, your damage is not going to be nearly as big. Nolan, the Kelly ult's coming in.
oh, and we see these cross map.
So I agree with you. The build's going to be good. The Fiora has healed back so much, and they're looking to dive the Crocodile. I will take back what I said. When the Crocodile's low enough, it's probably worth the dive.
And the double sleep coming on, gonna interrupt the Janna R, but Lilia just kind of fighting for their lives here. The Galio able
As the Janna jumps into the Herald and immediately goes for the crash.
and the Galio flashing in, gonna be able to find the taunt. The Xayah instantly dead. Ahri trying to find something, gonna be instantly ulted by the Nocturne, gonna be found dead there in the mid lane. Galio still trying to go for more, gonna be experimenting with that on his own, as well as Fiora looking for a kill. Gonna be flashing away the sleep from the Lilia, helping him get out, but he's still gonna be caught by that movement speed. He's gonna be dead. Rakan ulting here, trying to disengage, but look at the movement speed. They just keep running at him as Fiora
Fight's breaking out.
and Rakan looking for the ults, looking to really catch someone. They're able to find the sleep only on 1 on Galio burning down, but the Card able to snipe the Xayah here, trading.
All of these jungle camps are suddenly putting up so much value, and now as SU just has to back away, it ends. Walk in as 5. There's a firm mattress just waiting in the bush as Pantheon jumps in, and everyone's getting slapped. That the bot lane fight is starting.
Oh, and we see a pickup there by the Jhin early on. The Pantheon stun does its job. They do best. Galaxy Bird trying to run away, is running as fast as she can from this Pantheon, forced to flash over, but the Ignite is gonna go through, and so is the dash by the LeBlanc.
But a fight's breaking out, and we are seeing people go down. Seraphine knocked down, the Lux knocked down, abilities flying left and right. 5.
Yeah, and on the bot lane right there, double kill for Jhin, able to 1v2 the bot lane of Shenandoah. Absolutely phenomenal. Idiot Maker with a kill wherever he walks. I mean, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Meanwhile, Ultimate Provide is going to come out. The fear from the Darius or Aatrox ult is going to also go off, but not quite going to find anything. Not enough damage on their own. Salson will fall from the bot lane as well. Curtain Call going to take out for matches. Maybe find a second. Galaxy Bird trying to run for their life, but just can't quite find anything. The final shot, not going to quite be enough damage to find the kill.
Upside?
I was just going to comment
And I
on
wouldn't
that.
be surprised if we see it die.